This is the J.A. and Lena May show, 1959. This is Miss Janice Harris at the plate. This is taken at Herbert and Catherine's home in Mayville. She just hit a home run. Here she is striking out, but she's got a good fielder behind her by the name of Rick Harris. Notice the lefty, but he struck out. Here is the Oldham Harris clan. That's Grandpa Oldham next to Grandma Harris, and next to her is Ronnie. Catherine is carrying Risa. Same group a little later. A little lighter. Here's Bonnie's in the picture now. Bonnie again with her fly wide open. Two handsome couples. This is Uncle Harry and his wife, of course. Grandpa Oldham, Jackie in the background, Glenn Stroud's wife in the front. This is Glenn Stroud and his mother and his wife Peggy and two kids. Major Harris and his sister and brother and cousin. The Julians, and Stacy with a mouthful of fingers. The Harris brothers. This is Stacy with her gloves. J.A. and Lena May again. Now we go into the Bonnie show. I forget what day this was. I think it was the day before I got my Mercedes. In 1959, May sometime, I guess. I guess I'm standing in a hole. It's a lot of focus. Isn't that lovely? Somebody shot us through with bullets. Isn't she so pretty there? That's a virgin stock, and that's where Audrey Hepburn and Mel Ferrar were honeymooning also. This is Bonnie in Venice, St. Mark's Cathedral in the background, dodging the pigeons. Still in Venice.
Alrighty. This is December 31st, 1998. And we're starting the Harris family biography with Kenneth. Now, Kenneth, if you could please start by telling us your name and date of birth.
James Kenneth Harris, born April the 10th, 1928.
And place of birth.
Well, in the country between Bay, Arkansas and Truman, Arkansas. Probably in a cotton patch, a near one.
Sure born in a cotton patch.
I'm pretty sure of that, yeah.
Not a house?
Oh, yeah, in a house.
In a house?
Yes. And I was the first child of James Albert Harris and Lena May Oldham Harris. She was They were married when she was 16 and I was born when she was 17. And she was to have 8 other children, my being the eldest of 9.
And do you know where they were born?
My mother was born in Illinois, and Grandpa Oldham, her family moved from Illinois to Blytheville, Arkansas when she was quite small. But she was born in Illinois, and all of her brothers and sisters were born, as I remember, in Arkansas.
Okay. Where did you start attending grade school?
Started at number 9 school, number 9 Arkansas, a rural school, 2-room school, having 2 teachers, one for this elementary grades, and then I think it went through the 8th grade. But we left there and moved to Missouri when I was 9 years old. So then I went to school at Canada Switch, Missouri, in another 2 rooms. It was a brick school, but 2 rooms, and so I had the same teacher from I guess I went there in the 5th grade, 5th through 8th grade.
And can you tell us a little bit about the houses you grew up in?
Well, my memory of when we lived near Jonesboro, my first memories, we lived at Brooklyn, not too far out of Jonesboro, Arkansas. My grandparents also lived there at the time. There was a few miles between us, but I guess I was 3 or 4. My memories probably began at 3. And the memories I have very few memories there at Brooklyn, but I can remember my mother had some geese, or at least a male and a female, and I'd never seen a goose egg before. This old goose laid underneath the house, and I was quite fascinated by seeing that big egg. And then while we lived there, I one day got inside of a churn, a milk churn, and I sat down. And my mother couldn't get me out. My dad wasn't there, he was working somewhere. And she went out and got some men working on the road to come and get me out of the churn. Well, they pulled me out, and I don't know whether I was very sore for a long time after that. And I guess another memory I have there, my cousin, Sam, what's the last name, Aunt Bertha's son, about my age, and we were playing together. And we were out in Dad's shop, and he had a forge. He'd heat up, and he would sharpen plows in this thing. Well, we pulled on it. Well, it came over on me, so I'm sure I had a broken rib. They treated me at home, never went to the hospital, but years later when I was in the Air Force, they asked me, said, what broke your ribs? And I drew a blank. I couldn't think, and so that's the only possible time that that could have happened. And then we moved from that place to Blytheville, Arkansas. My grandparents moved to Blytheville, and we lived in a small house for a while on their place. And then my dad rented 40 acres down at number 9, Arkansas. And we lived there. It was in the heart of the Depression. Being young, I didn't realize how poor we were. But these days and times, I hear about organic gardening and all this stuff, which is nouveau something, but it's very old because everything we had was organic. The garden, we raised our food up with coffee, sugar, and salt probably, and flour. You know. we did make cornbread ourselves. Dad ground corn and made the cornbread.
And how long was it before you got some brothers and sisters to play with?
Well, of course, there at Jonesboro, Catherine, she is sometimes just a year younger than one time almost 2 years. So she was very near me, and we were the only two at Jonesboro. And when they moved to Blytheville, then Bonnie, let's see, maybe F.E., our brother who died, he was possibly born there too. But we got to Blytheville and Bonnie, and then we moved up in Missouri. Well, no, Norman was born when we lived at number 9. And we had a doctor, but the doctor didn't get there soon enough, and the old black lady who was delivered babies,
Midwife?
A midwife. An old black lady delivered Norman, and she told us that he would have extrasensitory perception. And we said, why? And he was born with a caul over his face. And it was common superstition that those born with this flap of skin, born with a caul, that they have powers of ascertainment that others do not.
Really? And did you get along well with your brothers and sisters?
Always. I'm sure we had our ups and downs and squabbles, but I was the oldest, and I think in a way very protective. I jokingly said I married late in life, for someone said, well, you married late in life? Yeah, I said I raised one family. I was the oldest of 9 children, so I got a good workout in raising brothers and sisters, and I think I was probably, I probably at times was a problem to them, but most of the time I was their leader, their mentor, as my parents were.
And do you have any most memorable moments of your childhood?
Oh, my grandparents, when they moved to Blytheville, Arkansas, they lived in this house, which a lawyer by the name of Lee had lived there. And this house was out in the country, but it had been quite a manor house because it had Delco electricity and plumbing, and one thing I remember was the big old touring car that had been left in the backyard. It had jump seats. I'm not sure what kind, what brand. Might have been a Dodge, but it was a big touring car, old-fashioned. I remember that. I remember the house had Easter flowers down the front walk, and roses, pecan trees. There was a fireplace in the living room, and it had been quite an elegant place at one time. By the time they were in it, though, the Delco had no longer worked, and years before that, well, I guess just before they tore the house down for this overpass going to number 9, that's about the time that, well, they were electrified later on, but most of the years they were not when I lived there. And we were always pleased going to our grandparents to visit. That was the big thing. And my Aunt Lucille is only 7 years older than I am, so she was my playmate. And we did things like we had a funeral, buried the baby, which was a doll, but we buried him out in the horse lot where the manure was, and so it rained that night, and we couldn't go get our baby had to stay buried. It was lost to us, and there was a time when I was there one night, and there was a huge storm, and I cried and was all upset. My grandmother's having difficulty calming me down, and I finally told her what was wrong, that I had taken the eggs out of this bird's nest. And I knew that she was upset and crying for her eggs, you know. And so my grandmother assured me that she would lay more eggs. Things would be all right. And so I was able to go to sleep. But the simple things of life that we had then, as I've told my grandchildren, I had no toy that you picked up and talked to you. And we weren't given all that much if we got one toy. That was quite a lot at Christmas. But we always had apples and oranges and candy, and as I've said before, we were extremely poor looking back, but we always had adequate food and as clean as my mother could keep us, and we were miles ahead of a lot of other people as poor as we were.
I understand that you used to raise turkeys to make some money.
When I was a teenager, going to high school.
So you could get voice lessons?
Well, I took voice lessons during that time, and which cost $1 a lesson. And the old lady retired.
How much could you sell a turkey for?
Oh, $12 maybe. So I made about, as I remember one year I made about $78 was the most I ever made. But enough to buy some clothes and pay for some of the things I had. Took lessons from this woman who was had quite a, she had studied with Madame Schumann Heink, but she didn't, due to the Depression, she didn't get to go to Germany to do her study there, and so therefore she wasn't welcome to the Metropolitan Opera because she had not studied in Europe, and read an article by Schumann Heink saying that she was certain that could Marjorie Ashcraft study in Europe, that she would have been invited to the Metropolitan Open Arms. And so I took voice lessons from her, sang in her mixed chorus.
Opera, or?
Well, it was what led to that, yes.
Would you care to sing any for us now?
No. I gotta be drinking bourbon.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. The discipline that you get in learning to sing, I used when I was a military officer teaching at officers' training school. All these guys were college graduates, and we're trying to teach them to give commands because they were going to be officers. And so I would simply tell them that breathe deeply, this is your diaphragm, and you breathe, take your air down that, and then you can belt out these commands, you know, and it worked real well because principles were the same used in singing.
And in your adult life, you were a minister?
Oh, I was many things. I was an Air Force officer for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really enlisted for 3. Then went on, got a commission and a master's degree, and then went on, spent 20 years in the military altogether. And then I went to seminary after I retired from the military, Air Force, and attended seminary 3 years. And I was a priest, Episcopal priest, for 18 years.
And what led to that decision?
Well, I had always been religious, and it was something that I didn't hear voices or anything. It was something that I wished to do, and felt kind of compelled to do, and it gave me, well, of course, I got another master's degree in theology, and then I was given a doctor's degree, but I was able to study theology and get insights that I would not have had, and I would choose to believe I've been helpful to people. at St. Hubert's Church, which was quite a posh fox hunting parish outside of Lexington, and quite a bit of money in the and not all people were wealthy, and so I spent several years there, and I was also working at the seminary. I helped run the seminary where I had gone to school, and then I worked as a chaplain at the VA hospital for a while. Then I worked for 5 years as chaplain at the big detention center in Lexington. About 800 people there, 75 to 100 women, the rest of them men, most of them being young. Drugs, alcohol, and that sort of thing being some of the major problems. And I don't know, as I look back, I feel that that ministry was probably as gratifying, and I probably did as much or more good work there than maybe in other situations, because those people had tendency to, they knew they had problems, and they were very vocal and telling me things, and working with people in civilian churches. Why, many times you can only guess at what they're getting at. You don't know what their problem really is, and they don't want to, but you know the trouble, and so you help. So as I would say that being more forthright, you felt that you were helping people, that you sometimes where all you could do is console them and pray for them and ask them to come back to see you and hope that they were helped, you know.
And in closing, is there any words of wisdom you'd like to leave for our audience?
Well, my mother used to tell us when we were young, do the best you can do, and that's all a mule can do. And so I've been in some places where things didn't look so good, and like when I was in the military, I was on a 2-engine aircraft flying from Korea to Tokyo, and we were over to Tokyo Bay, and the bell rang, and we were told to prepare to bail out. Well, I've never been a swimmer, and the idea of jumping out of that airplane and landing in the Tokyo Bay in January, I think it was. And so all I could do is do what I was told, prepare, and thank God that order was rescinded. So, but I did go on with a friend, and we went to Shanghai, China, and we had 10 days. And after we had been there, of course, China was conquered by the communists, and for 50-some years I could not have gone back to China had I wanted to. So I saw China as a young man, and my advice is to believe in God and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Drink a good grade of whiskey and don't look back.
All right. And Bonnie's up next. Do you have any good anecdotes of young Bonnie Lynn?
Well, yes. She was teaching school at a poetry psalm, and called me. I had gone back, I was in the Air Force and up at Wright-Patterson. She called me and said, I have a letter inviting me to fly out to Denver to be interviewed by the Saudi Arabian oil company. I said, what for? She said, well, to be a teacher. And I said, well, I think you ought to do it. And of course her mother didn't know that she should do that. Mom had never flown at that time on an airplane. And of course I'd flown. Dad took me up when I was 4 years old. That was another thing. I'd flown very early in life. So I advised her, yes, go have that interview. Then she came back and said they'd offered her a phenomenal sum of money if she would fly to Saudi Arabia and teach there. And I told her, go for it. And Mother was all upset. She didn't want her to, she couldn't feature their child going overseas, I guess, at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And especially a girl. A girl didn't get that far away from home. But I advised Bonnie that I thought this was a chance in a lifetime to take it. And so she flew to Saudi Arabia, taught school, and met Jack Lagerbaum, and that's another story.
All right. Thank you very much, Kenneth.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're here with Bonnie. The fourth oldest in the family,
Yes.
but the second oldest present, so she's next. If you wouldn't mind, start with your full name, your date of birth, and your place of birth.
Bonnie Harris Lagerbaum, born the 3rd, 30th of 33, and I am 65 years old, going on 66. Born in Gosnell, Arkansas,
Gosnell, Arkansas.
where the air base is now.
In a house?
Yes.
Hospital?
I was told no home.
Under a cabbage leaf?
In a house, I guess.
Okay.
Not in a hospital.
Now, could you tell us a little bit about your mother and father? Their names, where they were born and whatnot?
Jim and Lena Harris, and they were young when they married, but they were very good parents. They loved their children and loved each other, and
Do you know where they were born?
Mom was born in Wayne County, Illinois, and Dad was born in Marktree, Arkansas.
And do you know their dates of birth?
Daddy was born in on June 24th, 1906, and Mom was born on January the 6th, 1911, I believe it was.
And do you know anything about your grandmother and grandfather?
I know my grandfather and grandmother Oldham, that I didn't know Grandpa and Grandma Harris very well, because Grandpa Harris died when I was 4, and she died before I was born. So, Fred Oldham and Gertie Mae, or Gertrude was her name. Stroud Oldham was my grandmother, and she was a very sweet person.
Could you tell us a little bit about the houses you grew up in and where they were? The house you were born in?
I don't know if the house I was born in, I never saw it. It was torn down, I guess, when I got old enough to see it.
Well, what about the first house you remember?
Well, probably the first house I can remember was where Norman was born at number 9. And it was an old house, about getting kind of rickety at that time. And I'm sure it didn't last much longer, and we had to cross over a bridge to get to the house. And when the water was high, Daddy had to put us in a boat to get us across to go to school. And so I began school at number 9, went through, maybe first grade, and I moved to Concord, and went through 4th to 5th grade there, and then went to Concord through the rest of my elementary school years, and graduated from there, and went on to Wardell High School.
And did you live in big houses, little houses?
Mostly little houses. There were so many children. There was 8 children, of course 6 at one time, really, because Richard and Janice were so much younger. But we had to share our bedrooms. We didn't have a private bedroom, like most kids today.
Who did you share a bedroom with?
I had Catherine. And
Catherine's not able to join us today. Could you tell us a little bit, was she a good older sister?
she was a nice older sister, though she and I at that time were totally different. She was growny and fixed her hair so-and-so and used perfumes, and I was a baby type and didn't do any of that. She had to fix my hair, and she used to get mad at me because I'd cause her to have to do my hair. I would learn how to do it. It made her mad.
It did.
But
And
she was sweet.
did you get along well with the rest of your brothers and sisters?
Pretty good. And as Catherine and I got older, we got closer. Just like a lot of kids do. Just like Scott and Carrie did after they got older.
Do you have any most embarrassing moments or most memorable moments of childhood?
Oh, I'm sure there's embarrassing moments and memorable moments too, but right at the moment to pick one out, I can't really recall something else most embarrassing. I remember one time I was in a school play in high school, I guess I was just 8th or 9th grade probably, and I got known out on stage. I giggled the whole time I was out there stage, and I think I'm ridiculous now. I embarrass my parents now. I'm older. They never said anything bad about it, though.
You did. And what are some of the biggest changes for kids today compared to when you were a kid?
Well, we were so innocent, and we were willing to accept one gift and be very happy with it. We didn't think of getting more than one gift, probably at Christmas. We had food, and we always had food on the table, plenty. I never remember going without food and so forth, and a warm house and bed at night. But I remember that we didn't have quite the foods we have today, because we'd get oranges at Christmas time back then. This was before World War II, and bananas. And they'd buy them by the stalk. Grandpa would buy a stalk of bananas, and Daddy'd buy cases of oranges at Christmas. And we'd have and apples, and we'd always have apples and oranges, but we could get apples off and on through the Midwest. But orange citrus, especially at that time, and mushrooms were unheard of back then, before World War II being shipped around the country. Now you can get those things just as commonplace as others, but not then.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you have any words of wisdom for our audience to pass on?
Oh, just be kind and loving to each other, and try to not harbor anger or bad thoughts. If someone disappoints you or makes you mad, well, try to forgive them and go forward. And just remember your family, and that's all you got in this life. It's your family that loves you and really cares for you.
Uncle Norman's up next. Do you have any good stories about Uncle Norman as a child we can use?
Oh, he was Norman was our comedian as a kid. We'd have a picture made, and he was also on showing out in some way. We'd get the picture back and find his finger stuck out somehow, or his hair stuck up in the air, just some little something funny with Norman. He was always our child comedian.
Do you have any specific events I could bring up to him?
We could bring up to him. Let me think. No, he was fine. Other than just little incidents, and I can't recall one in particular at the moment that would be outstanding, I don't think. He was also good and kind and funny. And still is.
Is there any bad things you remember doing as a child you'd like to confess to us now?
I wouldn't confess to them now after all these years. Anyway, I was a wonderful child.
You're a wonderful child. Never did anything bad.
Oh yes, I did, but I'm not going to tell you.
We're back with Bonnie. This is the second tape. Bonnie, could you give us a little story about you and Norman and your brothers and sisters when... Excuse you. Gesundheit. God bless you. We can set that up. What's so funny?
It just came on. I couldn't help but laughing after done. Came on quickly.
Okay, tell us a story about the hay tunnels and going down to the creek.
Oh, we used to just build these huge tunnels in the hay barn and work like Turks, moving the bales of hay around and walk in these tunnels. We could almost walk in some of them, but we'd crawl in, and as I say, luckily they knew how to build them. None fell in on us or collapsed any time, or we might have been killed, all of us.
And what would you guys do in the hay tunnels?
We just crawl in there and play and talk just like kids do. They'd get in a box or something else and thought it was fun. One time I went out to the alfalfa field and was mowing hay, and I was walking barefooted, and I stepped on the stubble where some hay had been cut, and here went this little rattler. He must have been under the sheaf of hay when I stepped on him, and I could hear his rattlers and saw him going off. He ran away from me. He was scared of me, but he easily could have bit me. And then we used to ride our bike down to the creek, as I told you, and we'd throw rocks at the snakes and the bullfrogs and anything else we thought was strange looking.
How many bikes did you have?
Only one, and we had to share it. And we did, and we didn't fight over it.
Who'd have to ride it down to the creek?
Different ones at different times. And we took turns. We had to. And then one time, Daddy and Mom got some apples in the fall of the year, and Mom had to go down to the trailer and weigh cotton, help Daddy on the farm, and left us, and they told us to stay out of the apples, and Kenneth was supposed to look after us. Well, Lonnie went and got an apple, and he started in on me, and I started screaming and crying, and they came home and they took Kenneth.
Because you were eating an apple and he yelled at you?
And he was making me yell and cry, and he never let me forget it. Then I dropped Jackie on his head, and he was the baby. I was taking care of him for Mama, and I was 10, 11, and I dropped him. And Jackie's never been right since.
Well, we'll hear from Jackie later. We'll have to ask him if he remembers that.
Okay, and I can't think of anything on Norman. I'm trying to think. I'm blank. I'm sure there was some good ones on him, too, that I probably caused.
Okay, well, we'll get him in here and see what he can recall.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Recording. Go ahead.
Name, Catherine Harris Llewellyn. Date of birth, November 22nd, 1929.
None of our business, huh?
Place of birth, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Who was your mother? Lena Mae Harris. Your father? Jim Abbott. James Albert Harris. Your grandmother? Gertie Oldham. Grandfather? Fred Oldham. And on the other side, we don't know our grandmother's name.
Harris was...
Grandpa Harris and Grandma Harris, that's the only thing I can remember. Where did you go to grade school? Kansas Switch. High school? Crothersville and Wardell. What was the house you grew up in? Concord. We lived at Concord several years. And then Uncle... And Michael. Yeah, Uncle Ernest's home. Did you get along with your brothers and sisters? Yes, when they were good. Your most memorable moments of childhood? Maybe playing house, playing school, just playing outside. Halo? Huh? Halo? Oh, that wasn't a woman playing in the hay. I was always scared. Any words of wisdom for our audience? Don't eat too much or you get fat. What changes are biggest for kids today? I guess trying to stay out of drugs and drinking and smoking and that sort of thing. Do you have any good stories about yourself as a child? Some that I don't want to tell. Ask Brother Jackie and son-in-law John. Yeah. Your most embarrassing moment? Oh, when I fell in the poppy bed. That's the poppy you took your bottle. Yeah. Bad thing you did. Bad thing you did as a child, I guess, or
Yes,
bad thing? What did you do as a child? I guess when I got up on the old T-Model Ford and breathed gas, that's what John won't let me forget. Yeah. Okay, and that's it? Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Scott, for allowing me this moment, and Bonnie and Jack for putting up with us. Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Where are you right now, and what's going on?
We're at Bonnie's and Jack's, and we're watching Brian play baseball, and he is doing very well.
July 14th, year 2002.
Very good.
We just finished a great breakfast and off to the ball game.
Very good, yes.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, go.
Hi, Scott. I'm the Flat Stanley, and I want to play baseball today.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, we're back with Norman. Norman, we'll start with a few factual things, like your name, date of birth.
Leonard Norman Harris, May 15th, 1935.
And place of birth.
Blytheville, Arkansas. A little place near number 9, Arkansas, called Kildee Bottoms.
And a house.
In a house with wood floors with cracks in them.
Yeah. And who birthed you?
A black lady was the midwife. I was born with a veil over my head.
Like a Saudi woman?
No. No, it was just a sack, mucus-like sack, and the black lady said that I'd be very clairvoyant the rest of my life. I'd be able to see in the future.
And have you found that to be true?
Yes, every day I have an idea of what's coming.
Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your mother and father? Your names, date of birth, stuff like that.
Well, James Albert Harris, Lena Mae Harris. Dad was born somewhere around Mark Tree, or I don't know where really, to be honest with you.
Arkansas?
Arkansas. And Mom was born up around Cave and Rock, Illinois, I believe.
And what can you remember about your early childhood? Like the houses you went to or grew up, the grade school you went to?
The houses I
grew up in?
Yeah. Well, I vaguely remember I doubt if I remember the old houses we lived in until we moved into the new house at Kennedy Switch. And then from there, I became school age and I went to school there in Kennedy Switch. It was a two-room schoolhouse.
Your brothers and sisters in school with you?
We all walked at least 2 miles every day to school and back. We took our own lunch. Well, back during the war, there was some free lunch programs. But it was always nice to take sausage and biscuits or sausage and country ham to school for their lunch.
And you'd all walk to school together?
All walked to school together.
You all...
Except when it was snowing, and sometimes Dad would walk us all to school, carry the little one, and then trudge back to home, and then meet us after school.
A lot of kids in your
Same
school?
thing. It wasn't a large school, just the neighborhood kids that most could walk to school. Of course, some cases their families were able to drive. We lived up a muddy lane, and it wasn't easy to get in and out. It was real muddy.
Uh-huh. Who was the smartest out of your brothers and sisters in school?
I was the smartest of brothers and sisters.
Were you?
Well, I don't know. Usually it's the oldest usually is the smartest in the family, supposedly.
Uh-huh.
But everybody else matriculated all right, so it's probably a moot point.
Catherine isn't able to be here with us today, but what memories did you have of her as being an older sister when you were young?
Well,
She a good sister?
oh yes.
Pay a lot of attention to you?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she was always the older sister. And, I really can't think of anything specifically right now, but she definitely had a place, you know, a very fond place. Gosh, my brain's not working today. I didn't take the right pill.
Well, Bonnie was telling me about you used to make tunnels in the hay barn,
Yeah.
and what would you guys do in there?
Oh, the bigger ones would build little rooms in the hay. You know, they'd rearrange the hay bales, and you could you could crawl all over that barn through underground tunnels. And it was just something to do on a cold day. And usually when we were out playing in the barn, sometimes Mom would make sugar cookies, and you know, would come in and have a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one of those things that you didn't have TV to watch, so you had to do something each time.
What do you remember about Christmas times?
Oh, I remember Christmas was always a fun time of the year. Of course, we're never hungry, but we always had the excesses of Christmas. Extra crate of oranges and apples and candies and it wasn't often that we had lots of gifts, but we had gifts. Usually socks, underwear, pajamas, things that we might not have bought, you know, when we picked cotton in the fall.
What would you say are the biggest changes between kids then and kids today?
Well, you know, you're always a product of your environment, and perhaps we didn't strive, maybe we didn't really strive, other than the fact that I guess our biggest effort was to get an education. Of course, today that's just sort of second nature, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a hurdle. Most families can afford educations.
Do you have any most embarrassing moments from your childhood? Or most memorable moments?
If I'd have thought I had some time to think about it, I might have come up with something. I guess it was a happy childhood. You know, not a whole lot stands out.
Did you get along well with your brothers and sisters?
Yes, no problem. We weren't allowed to fight each other.
You weren't allowed to.
No. Dad was a good disciplinarian, so was Mom. And we managed to look after each other as we grew older. Everybody took care of everybody else.
Bonnie asked Bonnie a little bit about you when you were a kid, and she said you were always the comedian.
Well, I don't exactly,
When they'd take a picture, you would have your tongue sticking out or your hair pointing up or something.
usually the little finger sticking out.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I have no earthly reason.
You don't know?
Uh-uh.
Is there a reason you think you came out the comedian in the family?
No, I wasn't sure I was. I thought Richard was, maybe.
You thought Richard was.
Yeah, or one of the others. Ronnie was a big picker. He was fun to be around too.
Yeah?
And Effie was could have more fun and just hide and seek and scaring somebody. That's probably where Andy got that.
Mr. Leffie?
Mm-hmm. Now there was the occasion when we lived in one room in the wintertime. At least the warm room was the living room, and before bedtime, Mom would take a lamp and head for the bedrooms to make sure the beds were ready. And Effie wasn't scared of the dark, but Mom was always scared of the dark, and she taught most of us to be scared of the dark until we were old enough to realize that there was nothing there to scare us.
So Effie was older than you?
Effie was older.
And Ronnie was younger?
Ronnie was younger than Jack. It was me, Jack, and then Ronnie. Effie was the third child.
Uh-huh.
Kenneth, Catherine, Effie, Bonnie, and myself. I'm number 5. There's 4 that way and 4 that way. Well, anyhow, one of us hid in the dark. I forget who did it, and scared Effie, and he left a little message in the floor for us.
He did?
Yeah, somebody finally got him back.
But do you remember who it was?
I really can't right at the moment. Of course, he'd already gone in there before we headed that way and scared Mom and Catherine and whoever else was heading that way. You know?
Uh-huh.
And he wasn't expecting somebody to turn it around on him.
But it wasn't you.
It could have been.
Okay, do you have any words of wisdom for our audience?
Oh. No, really. Just follow your I can't think of the word now. May the force be with you.
Not a bad one. Let's see who's up next. Jackie's up next.
Yeah.
Do you have any scoop on Jackie I could use?
Is that thing turned off?
No?
Probably not, except he was rather good at riding his bicycle off the bridge.
He rode his
Into
bicycle
a
off the
fairly
bridge.
deep ditch
Where was that at?
at Concord.
And so he'll remember that.
It should. Should easily.
Alrighty.
Of course, you know, he was a ball player in high school.
He was.
He was a basketball player. They had a very good team at Wardell where we went to high school. And that's about it.
Alright. We'll get Jackie in here and ask him.
All right.
Alright. We're here with Jack Harris. If you wouldn't mind, Jack, we'll start with some factual stuff, like your name, date of birth.
Well, Jack Harris, October 22nd, 1939.
Place of birth.
It was actually born in a doctor's office at Crothersville, Missouri, but we lived at Canada Switch at the time, which little community there, just west of Crothersville, north of Steele.
So you were born in a doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
You're the first one.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us just a little bit about your mother and father?
Well, Dad and Mom, you know, both farmers. The day I was born premature, I'm sure is why I was born in the doctor's office. Mom was out the turnip patch picking greens and turnips, and she fell.
Mm-hmm.
So I come about 2 weeks too early, from what she always told me.
And what's your first memories of the houses you lived in when you were young?
Well, when I was a baby, there was a house there at Canada Switch, which our Uncle E.O. Adams owned, the same one. It looked exactly like the one I live in, and the one that's at number 9, Arkansas. And they built it brand new for Mom and Dad. They moved in there when I was a baby.
And you remember living in that house?
Faintly. I remember I guess anything that I can really remember there was my dog, Shep, and Mom's old gas-operated washing machine. I can still remember that.
And where'd you move to next?
We moved to Concord. That's where I started to school.
And what kind of house do you have there?
Oh, it was a 2-story house, and we had neighbors there. Had some cousins, old fella and Jean, that lived next door, and then they moved, and we had some pools and Gerald's that lived near us, and back to business. There were several girls there, and that's where I got my first sex education
In Concord.
at Concord.
Well, who was your teacher?
I can't remember, Scott.
You can't remember. Was it a big house?
Yeah, 2-story.
Did you have your own room?
No, Lord, I had to sleep with Norman, and Bonnie and Catherine were in the room next to us, and our brother Effie, and myself, and Ken, when he was home, all slept upstairs. Of course, Ronnie was small at the time, and I think he slept a lot with Effie. But Norman and I had to sleep together. Norman would go out to dang bed and get me wet. And if Dad ever had to come up and correct us, Norman would roll up in the cover, and I'd get my rear end tore up, and he'd be rolled up in it.
Wasn't Norman older than you?
Yeah, Norman's older than I was.
But he was wet in the bed and you weren't?
Right.
You didn't tell me about that.
Well, that's an old secret of his.
Anyway. And were you old enough to go to school there?
Yeah, I went through the 7th grade there.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to a big school, little school?
A small school. I have some memories, good memories of some teachers and some bad memories of some teachers there.
Yeah. Were your brothers and sisters in your class?
No, none of them were.
Were in the same school?
Well, they're in the same school, but it was just a good old country school, you know.
Did you get along well with everybody there?
Oh yeah. Everybody but the principal. She tore my butt up about every time she turned around.
And did you get along with all your brothers and sisters when you were younger?
Oh, you know, we had our little ripples, but yeah, we always loved and got along with each other.
What do you remember about Christmas times when you were little?
Oh, I guess the biggest thing I remember is growing up, you could tell when Dad had a good year or a bad year. I got there was an electric train we got when I was a boy that I remember playing with for years. And a BB gun, a Daisy pump I got when I was a boy. And it was, you know, just a big family, and we always had a lot of fun, plenty to eat, even though some years were better than others.
Norman tells me you're a pretty good bicycle rider.
Oh yeah, I tore up a many a knee. I guess one of the funniest ones, I look back and remember them, and my brother Ronnie were riding a bicycle together, and Mom didn't have any, we didn't have an indoor toilet at that time, but where the sink, he'd go, instead of piping back then, he'd took boards, nailed them together, and he piped her dishwater. She had a sink and piped it all the way out to this ditch, probably about a couple of 100 foot from the house. And of all places for Ronnie and I to run in the ditch was right there where that darn dishwater come out. And I were quite a mess whenever we hit the bottom of the ditch.
Norman said you used to like to ride off a bridge.
Yeah, I had too much gravel on it, and I sailed off of it, was hanging off of the thing, that to be truthful with you, but messed both knees up at the same time. Skin them up. But it seemed like I was skinned up about half the time anyway back then.
He also said you're a pretty good ball player.
Yeah, I was lucky to get to play on a team that we played in the state tournament. Always felt lucky to get to participate in something, because and the team that beat us was Branson, Missouri. And they won the state championship, so I always felt that if we had got by them, we could have done quite well. We drew them, so that was it.
Were you a good high school student?
No, not really. I put more emphasis on athletics than I did studies, and I think it showed, it showed up on me all the way through, but I survived.
Do you have any most embarrassing moments from your childhood?
No, can't really think of any, just right off the bat. I don't know. Always something that happened when there's a bunch of us together,
Yeah. How about any words of wisdom you'd like to leave for our audience?
Well, just remember to, Mom and Dad brought us all up to love each other, and we hope that you younger ones will continue that, and be there for each other and remember each other. from here on, I think that's the best thing they ever left us, and I hope we can pass that on to you guys.
And that's a good one. And your sister Janice is up next.
Yeah.
Do you have any interesting anecdotes or stories about Janice when she was young?
Yeah, she was probably one of the better singers out of the bunch in church. Her and Minnie Pearl had a lot. They sang a whole lot alike, and she always been able to cry like Tammy Faye if she needed to. So she'll make, I'm sure, a good interview for you.
Was she a good little sister?
She's always been the best.
The best?
Uh-huh. Love her dearly.
And you guys got along well?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's always been spoiled, but, you know, you have to look by that.
Why do you say she was spoiled?
Well, I mean, she's the youngest daughter, you know, and she comes along when in a big family, everybody spoils her.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes baby Richard, and I don't have to tell you why we call him Little Richard.
Why don't you?
Well, I mean, he's not very well endowed. You know.
Well, we'll have to get him in and ask him about that as well. So you remember Janice being a good singer?
Oh yeah, yeah. You might ask her to sing a note for you.
Really? And she used to go to church and sing on?
Oh, she could get louder than anybody when she wanted to.
All right. Well, we'll have to get her in here and ask her about that. Thank you very much, Jack.
Okay.
All right, we're here with Janice Kuntz, formerly Janice Harris. Why don't we start off with some factual stuff, Janice, like your name and date of birth?
My name is Janice Kuntz, and I was born August the 30th, 1949.
Your place of birth?
Was Blytheville, Arkansas.
And house, hospital?
I was at the hospital. Ronnie was the last brother to be born at home, and I was number 8. Ronnie was number 7, and he was born at home, and then after that, I was born at the hospital.
Okay, why don't you tell us a little bit about your mother and father?
I'm the daughter of Jim and Lena Harris. They were already wore out, I always said, by the time I was born, we got here. She was 38, and he was about 4 or 6 years older, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the 8th of 9 children. I had 2 brothers who have preceded in death at ages 20, both of them, Ronnie and F.E. Ronnie was Lisa's father, and then Kenneth married Ronnie's wife and became Lisa's father, and they had a son, Peter. And anyway, we're here at Christmas with Bonnie's and at Bonnie's in 1998 with Lisa and her family this Christmas. And let's see, my mom and dad were hard-working people. He was a farmer and worked real hard all his life to make sure his kids got an education and had it better than he had it in life. And that was the one gift he thought he should give his kids, was an education, because he didn't have the opportunity to have one. And so everybody graduated just about from college out of the children that are living. And not that everybody used their college education to do the jobs they've done, but they all had one. I taught school for 26 years and retired this past summer, and have enjoyed a lake close by this summer and fall. And
What can you tell us about the first house you grew up in?
the first house I remember growing up in, we actually moved to Steele and lived with my grandpa Oldham. Now, as a little girl, I remember Wardell, but at that time, I was first through third grade, I went to school at Wardell, and then that's when we moved to Steele and lived with my grandfather because he was getting in bad health and he needed somebody to look after him. And we were, at that point, my dad was not farming as much, and we lived with him during the time and took care of him until he passed away. And
Big house, little house?
a 3-bedroom house. The north bedroom was mine, and it was always pretty cold. It's Jack's house now. He's remodeled it, and he put an upstairs and has a nice home after.
So you had your own bedroom?
Yeah, when no one was home, none of the brothers and sisters come home, I had my own bedroom. Of course, when they came in, the older ones came home, we had to move over and let them in too. And but we were warm and we had plenty of food to eat, and it was a nice place to live.
And you went to school around there?
Yeah, 2.5 miles from the school.
How'd you get to school?
School bus, rode school bus, and till I was 16, and then I tried to drive the car as much as I could. They let me have it, but
Brothers and sisters in school with you?
I only had Ronnie was in high school. Well, he was about 4 years older than I was. He played basketball, and he and Richard and I went to school, but we were spaced out so many years apart. We weren't real close in age, but we went to school together. I'd say a period. I probably had 4 years on one side and then 4 years on the other. It was their grades. If I was in 5th, Richard was in 1st. Ronnie would have been in 9th or 10th.
Did you get along pretty well with your brother and sister?
No, we had our fights, and oh yeah, we fight. Ronnie, one time, one of the biggest fights I remember was Ronnie told me to meet him in the garage at a certain time, and we'd just have it out. So I told Jack, because Jack was just older than Ronnie, and he was bigger. And I said, Ronnie, we're going to meet at a certain time in the garage, and Ronnie's just going to beat the soup out of me, and I want you to come with me. So Jack said, okay. And so about the time we were supposed to meet, and Ronnie had me cornered, in walks Jack. And he's going to clobber Ronnie. And
how did it turn out?
Well, it turned out Ronnie hollering for help instead of me. But of course, my kids like for me to tell the story of when Ricky and I were playing. We had bikes, and we had our canteens on our bicycles. And
You each had your own bike?
Yeah. See, Bonnie went to teach overseas, and the first thing she bought was a washer and dryer, automatic washer and dryer for Mom.
Kenneth had said that, told the story about Bonnie calling and asking him if she should go to Saudi Arabia because the oil company was going to pay her a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah, back then.
So she bought you a bike with it?
Yeah, that was the first presents we got. Was she bought Richard and I a new bicycle, and she bought Mom a washer and dryer. And so anyway, I told Rick we'd tie our canteens on our bike, and we'd play like they were horses. And when he fell on the ground, or I would fall on the ground, and I would say water, and he was supposed to bring me some water to drink. like the West.
Mhm.
And so anyway, I was laying there hollering the water, and I didn't know Jack was laid in on the bed listening to this. And so anyway, he sneaks around the house and gets a water hose. And I'm laying there hollering water, and Jack turns that water hose loose on me. And Ricky and so all of a sudden I jump up when that water hits me, and I thought, I'm going to beat the soup out of Richard. And Jack's standing over at the corner laughing, and I get over there, Ricky's not even got the canteen off his bike, so I knew that he wasn't the one that did it. It had to be Jack. And anyway, my kids loved to hear it from me telling that story about Uncle Jack and spraying me with a water hose.
Jackie was telling me you used to go to church a lot.
Oh, Jackie enjoyed me singing with him. We were
Yeah.
singing by him in church. He said I could hit the high notes.
He said you're a good singer. He said we should get you to do a sample for us today.
Yeah. I'm not that good. He always liked to make fun of me when I was singing church.
Would you care to give us a sample?
Yeah, I can't sing. I mean, Grandma Harris did well to even give an interview on camera, much less me sing.
What do you think the biggest changes are from when you were a kid and kids today?
They have more technology, more to watch, more things to make them, stimulate them, make them think. Maybe not as physical. Kids don't get the exercise they need, but the technology is, there's just so many things to entertain them today.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to leave for our audience?
Children are the most valuable assets, and they should always be given the history of the past to remember.
And your brother Richard's up next.
Oh, that's just one big gas pain. Okay.
Do you have any amusing anecdotes from Richard other than the bicycle story from when Richard was a child?
Oh, let's see. I did almost smother him in a cotton trailer.
You almost smothered him in a cotton trailer.
Yeah.
And this is something he'll remember?
Oh, definitely. He's if Kenneth hadn't been there, he wouldn't be here today.
Alright, we'll have to get him in here and ask him some questions about that.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks a lot, Janice. Okay, we're here with little Richard Harris, youngest of the Harris clan. Why don't we start with your name and date of birth?
My name is Richard A. Harris. My birthday is 10/28, 1953.
And your place of birth?
They told me it was in a hospital
You don't remember?
in Blytheville, Arkansas.
Blytheville, Arkansas.
Yes.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about your parents?
My parents' names was, my mother's name was Lena Mae Harris. My father's name was James Albert Harris.
And do you remember anything about your grandparents?
Yes, I do on my mother's side. My mother, Dad's name was Fred Luke Oldham, and I can't remember my grandmother's name. What was her name? I can't remember right now.
Gertrude?
Gertrude. Gertrude, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And my dad's mom and dad, I don't remember them. Do you know, Scott?
Just from what Bonnie told me, that they both died before she was born, or when she was 4 or something.
Yeah.
So evidently none of them remember him very well.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about when you were real little, first house you were living in?
Well, I guess the first house I can remember living in was in Wardell, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I was around, I guess I lived there until I was about 5 years old, and then we moved to Steele, where Grandma and Grandpa lived.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived there until
I was a senior in high school.
Big house, little house?
Yes, it was basically the home that our brother Jack lives in now, where I was brought up and raised.
Mm-hmm. And you have your own room?
Yes, I had my own room. Matter of fact, my bed is the bed that your mother has in the far end of her house here,
Yeah.
that I laid upon.
And who do you live in that house with?
With my mother and dad.
Is that it?
Yes,
So it was you and Grandpa and Grandma?
yes.
Where was Janice at the time?
Well, Janice, I don't know much about her. She was sort of non-existent, so I really didn't claim her.
Yeah.
Yes, don't to this day.
You don't?
No,
Did you get along well with your brothers and sisters?
very well. Of course, I was the best one out of the bunch. My mother and dad always said that. They loved me more than they did any of the rest of their children,
And why is that?
just because I was a sweet boy and I had a good outlook on life.
How did you get back and forth to school?
Until I was, my dad, well no, we rode the school bus. I had to walk to the end of the lane each day and catch the bus, and the bus would bring me back and drop me, and I had to walk home.
Long walk?
Well, it was a pretty good walk, about a quarter of a mile.
And were you a good student?
Oh yes, I tried hard, let's put it that way, but I was more interested in, I had a rare disease at that time period. Between my childhood anorexia I've had all my life, and at that time beer come into play, and I killed a lot of brain cells, but I could have been a better student, but I had little women on my mind, and the rice juice.
Rice juice. What's
Yeah.
rice juice?
That's beer.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Now, you had women on your mind. At what age was this?
Well, from about starting at 10 years old, I got to look at all my older brother's books, and from what my brother Jack used to drag in the house, his women,
Yeah.
and
You remember any of them in particular?
yes, I remember a lot of Jackie's. Do you want to know about the black ones or the white ones?
Either
or,
way.
or the Koreans, or what he brought in?
Whatever sticks out in your mind.
Well, it was just a lot of them. Matter of fact, Jackie has dated a lot of women even since he's been married still, and you know, he's all the time now with the other women.
Now you got to remember, Richard. This will be seen 100 years from now when people don't know that you're joking.
Yeah, well, we'll have to let Jack talk to Jack about that, you know.
All right. So you made it to 10 years old.
Yes.
Because now, by whose grace would that be?
Well, it was good mother and dad. I respected my mother and dad. Of course, if I didn't respect my dad, he'd beat the crap out of me with a razor strap.
So do you attribute any of your existence to Kenneth?
No, he was a bad influence. I've had to teach Kenneth a lot in life, and I'm still working on trying to straighten him out.
Well, Janice was telling me a story about one time he saved you. You were playing in a cotton trailer,
Cotton trailer, where they
and
go and
somehow you had got in trouble.
I will have to say, yes,
Kenneth came in and saved you?
Janice and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Really?
And at that time, Janice was a little bigger than me. And one day they had dumped cotton into the cotton trailer, and Janice, I said something to her, and she jumped on top of me and held my head down in the cotton. And I guess if Kenneth hadn't come along to see that she was smothering me to death in the cotton trailer, I probably wouldn't be here making this picture, this little interview with you today.
Well, it's a good thing Kenneth was there, huh?
Yes, I will have to give him credit there.
Do you think that that could have had anything to do with that time Janice was starving for water?
Well,
And you were supposed to bring her a canteen of water?
yeah, and I was doing what she told me, and I was trying to help her. And our other brother, Jackie, got in the way. He seen that we were outside playing, and he went out and put a water hose on her and she thought I squirted her with a water hose, and then she was ready to kill me again.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally admitted his guilt, and she jumped on him there.
So you guys were playing on your bicycles?
Yes, I couldn't get my canteen off my bicycle. I tied it on there too good, and I was sitting there trying to get my canteen off.
But that was actually a horse, right?
Yeah, that's my horse then. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I use my bicycle as my horse, but that's been many a moon ago.
Where'd you get that bicycle from?
I think my mom and dad got it for me. I can't remember how old I was. Probably, I'm going to say 9 or 10. I got my first bicycle. And until that time, I rode my brothers, their leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother Ronnie's bike, I think I rode until I got my own.
Did you get along well with your brother?
Oh yes, I've always been the mild-mannered child of my older rowdier brothers, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Can you tell us any memorable or embarrassing moments from your childhood?
Oh, I guess just being around the family and all the family events. As far as embarrassing moments, no, I can't really think of it.
What do you remember when you think back about Christmas?
Well, it was always a happy time of the year. I always enjoyed Christmases, and we always I got pretty well what I asked for, but they were a lot of fun just being with a family.
Did you get a lot of presents?
Not a great lot at that time. My mother and daddy wasn't very well off as far as finances, but they got us what they could, and we always enjoyed it. So I guess to answer that, I guess we did get a lot, just being with them and enjoyment of the Christmas.
Are there any words of wisdom you'd like to leave for our audience?
Well, this has been a very good Christmas that we've had here in 1998. We've got I guess the first time we've ever got to have the whole Lagerbaum family with us for Christmas. Maybe when you were little we might have had a small Christmas, but it's been very enjoyable, and hope we can do it year after year, and one day I hope we'll all go to Scott Lagerbaum's and have Christmas on them.
Mm-hmm. What kind of changes do you see for your kids today compared to when you were a kid? What are the biggest changes for them compared to when you were young?
Well, I guess on my kids, I want to make my children learn responsibility in life. I think I was taught that, and I carried it out, and to appreciate whether they get one gift or 10 gifts, if it's just one, that it means as much to them as, as if they got 10. I think kids this day and time, we don't remember, or they don't know the old values or how time was when you got a basketball and a bat for Christmas. You were on cloud nine, but I think we need to stress that in their lives, that to learn responsibility, and I think that makes them a better person when they go out in the world.
Now, since you're the last in line, the last question doesn't really apply to you, because generally when I finish an interview, I say, like to Janice, I said, Richard is up next. Is there anything you'd like the audience to know about Richard? But since you're the last one, I can't ask you that question because there's nobody left, but is there any memorable moments, say, about Catherine, since Catherine hasn't been able to join us today, that you'd like to share with the audience?
Well, ever since I was a little boy, my sister Catherine, she always sent me a $1 bill for my birthday. She still does that to this day and time.
She does?
She sure does, and I think she's always been there for that, and that's something I'll remember the rest of my life. But talking about the rest of my brothers and sisters, they're all Kurds. My mother, again I'll reiterate, my mother and dad, they did set me down here right in their later years and told me that they did love me more than they did the rest of their kids. And they probably should have never had them kids. I wish they just could have had me and been done with it, you know.
Do you think that would have turned out better for them?
Yes, they really would, you know. But that's about it.
All right. Is there anything you'd like to say before we cut it off?
It's been very nice speaking to you, and I hope we can do it again someday.
All right. We certainly will. Thank you, Richard. More?
August 21st, 1927, I was born on 11th Street, my grandma's house. Well, it would have been my uncle's house in St. Joe, Missouri.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about growing up and the first house you lived in and memories when you were a young kid?
Well, we lived in North Kansas City at the time I was born.
Uh-huh.
And we went about a week or two after I was born. We went back to North Kansas City. I think I lived on 22nd Street in North Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived there until I was in the 4th grade.
Then where'd you go?
After the 4th grade, we moved to King City, well, a farm outside Ford City, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
We lived with my grandparents because that was during the Depression. My dad was unable to find work. We went out and lived with my grandpa and grandma for a year, and I went to country school for 1 year.
Mm-hmm. And you lived with your brothers and sisters?
Now, I have one sister, and she was with us at the time. She was actually in the 8th grade at the time we moved and had finished the 8th grade. So they didn't want her riding the bus to school, so she taught with the teacher, the kids at the school where I went, and,
Really?
and took the 8th grade over again.
And did you get along with her well?
Oh, God, me and my sister get along great.
Even when you were kids?
Even when we were kids. She lied for me, and I wouldn't tell on her.
What did you guys used to do for fun?
Oh, we grew up, after I left the farm, we went to King City.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really my years I remember most. And we'd go downtown every Saturday night, and Mom would give us a dime, and we had a ball, run up and down the streets. And we'd go to Dashler's and the dance hall back to the cafe. And that's where they had the partying and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And where'd you go to high school?
I went the first couple of years at King City, and well, I went the first year and a half at King City, and then I went to St. Joe. I went a half a year to Lafayette, and then I went to Central High in St. Joe, graduated from there in 1945.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about holidays when you were growing up? Christmas time, what do you remember at Christmas time?
It was a big time. We didn't get a whole lot of gifts and things, but it was always a big time. We had extra food, candy and stuff that we didn't have other times. I always enjoyed it. I don't remember that much more about it.
Okay, why don't you tell us about where you went to college?
Well, I started at junior college in St. Joe, but that was the time the war was on, and I wasn't that interested in school, and so when the draft came on, I guess I could have got out if would have been making good enough grades and wanted out, but I didn't care about school that much, and so I went into service. And then after the service, why, I come home and worked for a few years, and decided to go to college after I was in the Army the second time, and that was during the Korean situation. And so I started Bolivar College after I got out of the Army the second time, because that's when I'd made a commitment to going into ministry, and went to Baptist College, Fowler, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I met Catherine.
You met Catherine. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the first time you guys went on a date?
Well, the first time we ever went on a date was really, I forget what they called it. They called it something like Sadie Hawkins Day or something like that, where the women had to ask the guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I was bashful. I wouldn't ask the girls, so Catherine asked me. And,
Was it Tweak?
huh?
Was it Tweak Day or Tweak Week?
Something like that. I don't know what the heck the name of it was, but anyhow, she asked me out, and we held hands. And there you couldn't even kiss a girl on the campus. And so then we went to, on our, I wouldn't have been senior, there was only a 2-year college, and we went on a little trip at the end of the school term, and Catherine and I got to sit together on the bus, or near the bus, and we went to a rodeo in Camden, Missouri, and I guess that was probably been our biggest outing together. And then we went to Missouri State Prison together.
Prison. Why don't you tell us how you decided to propose to her?
Oh, after school that year, I went down and visited with her folks and met her family.
Did you like her family?
Yeah, her family was real nice. Her dad built a new outhouse,
Uh-huh.
and he built it just because I was coming.
Really?
Yeah, because the old outhouse wasn't very, very nice, and they built a brand new one just for me. And I embarrassed them all because when I went out, I went to the old outhouse rather than the new one.
And then where'd you propose?
Well, after I went down to visit her after school that year, we wrote letters for, probably 6 months. And then in just before Christmas, she came up to visit at our house. I'm not sure whether it was November or December that she came up, but anyhow, whenever she came, I asked her on the way home I picked her up at Kansas City Union Station, train station, and on the way home I asked her to marry me before she ever met my family. I didn't want her to meet my family, but I asked her. I wanted to make sure she'd say yes. So. And then we stopped and bought a ring, purchased her diamond before we even got home to see my folks. And that was when, I don't know what the date was, and she'll get on me for that.
And you got 3 lovely daughters.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, we have Risa, which is our oldest,
Mm-hmm.
and she was born in our first year at Maysville, Missouri, and then we had Nancy, who was born while we were at Maysville, and she was born about the time that John Glenn went up on the satellite, or whatever it was, rocket, went around.
Space mission.
Space mission around the world, around the, I guess it would be around the world, and then after we left Maysville, we went to Red Oak, and Catherine was already pregnant with Marcia at the time we went to Red Oak.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't long after we were at Red Oak and Marcia was born.
Okay. Do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to leave the audience and your children and grandchildren with?
I don't ever have words of wisdom.
None at all?
None at all.
Okay, dokie.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we're here with Jack Lagerbaum, husband of Bonnie Lynn Harris. And we'll start with some factual stuff. Why don't you start with your full name and date of birth?
My real name is Harry Wisner Lagerbaum. I was born on September 28, 1928 in Corning, New York.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about your mother and father?
My mother was Sarah Aline Wisner. She's a registered nurse. My father is Harold, called Jack, and that's how I got my nickname after him, Jack Lagerbaum. Both my parents were born in 1904 in Corning, New York. My father worked most of his life for the Ingersoll-Rand Air Compressor Company in Painted Post, New York.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and the first house you lived in?
I grew up in Painted Post, New York. I lived on 418 High Street. It was a company house owned by the company back during Depression time.
Big house, little house?
It was a duplex. Probably had 2 bedrooms upstairs and bath, and a living room, dining room, and kitchen downstairs. We had a full basement.
And did you get along well with your brothers and sisters?
I think we did, although we fought an awful lot. Of course, I was the oldest, and I usually prevailed.
Did you have your own room when you were growing up?
No, my brother and I slept together, or slept in the same room. We had twin beds.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the school where you went? How did you get back and forth to school?
We didn't have to go too far, probably about 4 blocks to school. The junior high and high school were all in the same area. It was Painted Post Grammar School and Painted Post High School.
And any embarrassing moments as a child you'd like to share with the audience?
Embarrassing moments?
Or memorable moments, something that sticks out in your memory?
Well, I think probably the most embarrassing was when I think it was about 13 or 14 years old, and we were at Cuca Lake, and I was trying to flirt with a little girl who had a boat that was tied to a dock, say by our cottage, and I was out on the dock and I fell in the water, and everybody kind of got tickled with that.
Why don't you tell us how you got tied up with the Harris clan?
Well, and I went to Saudi Arabia for Aramco in 1955, and I was working as an engineer in construction there, and met Miss Bonnie Lynn, who was a school teacher. She was the one and only school teacher at a little town called, I forget what the name of the town was now, where I was doing some work. And, I lived in a construction camp about 30 miles away, and would drive over the sand dunes at night to visit her, and then drive back.
Well, it's pretty dangerous driving over sand dunes at night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Could run into a camel or anything.
And did you meet her parents before you were married?
No, I didn't get their permission, and that's why probably if I had met them, they wouldn't let me marry her.
Why don't you tell us about the first time you came back and met the rest of the family?
That would have been in the summer of 1959. Bonnie and I had been married in Zurich and honeymooned, say, in Europe. And we came back to the States by ship, and we had bought a Mercedes sports car at that time, and we drove from New York down to Steele. About half of it, I remember, was on interstate. The rest of it was regular roads. And we arrived early one morning, and the whole clan met us at the homestead in Steele. Kenneth had just come back from overseas. He was with the Air Force, and Jack had just returned from overseas with the Army of Korea.
Who, did anybody there stick out in your memory?
Well, I realized it was a big family when I got there. They were all, say, nice and seemed happy to see me.
They all get along pretty well?
Not the younger ones. Rick, I think, was 5 at that time, and Janice about 9, and they were fighting constantly.
They were?
Yeah.
Remember any specific moments?
No, I really can't. Seems as though they always were going at it.
Can you tell us any, what the biggest change is from when you were a kid to, say, the kids we got growing up today?
Well, it seems to me that the kids today have more and think less of it, particularly at Christmas time, toys and stuff like that. They don't get just 1 or 2 presents, they get thousands of presents.
What were your Christmases like?
Happy. Always, we went out and got our own Christmas tree, cut it, and decorated it. Seemed as though it was always cold, snow in the winter.
Would you get lots of presents?
Well, I would get 1 major present and then a couple smaller ones. I think the most shocking Christmas was the time I got a pair of ski boots and some of clothes and things like that, and I thought, I didn't get any toys this year. And it was the first year I didn't get any toys, and I was kind of sad.
Were you? What would you like to leave any words of wisdom for our audience?
Well, I would only want to say that everybody, say, has their own part in this family, and every part contributes to the whole, which I think is great. So just carry on as is.
All right. Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you. What are you doing?
Okay, we're here with young Jane Poteet. Jane, why don't you tell us your full name and date of birth, if you care to?
Martha Jane Poteet Harris, November the 13th, 1948.
And your place of birth?
Blytheville, Arkansas, the Walls Hospital.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about your mother and father?
Okay. My father is Leonard Poteet, and my mother is Faye Catherine Lawson Poteet, and they were both from Arkansas and down around the Ola area, and they married in 1935, and I'm not sure what year they moved to Luxora, but that's where they were living when I was born, and we lived in Luxora until 1950. December of 1950, and that's when Mother and Daddy moved to Steele, and that's where they've lived the rest of their life. And I had 1 brother and 3 sisters, and one of my sisters is deceased. She died in 1953 in an accident. And I have a brother, John, and a sister Sarah, and a sister Judy.
And why don't you tell us about the first house you remember growing up in?
Okay. It was a two-story house, and it was right beside a ditch bank. And we call it back on the 80, is the way we describe this house. And there was 80 acres of land that this house sat on. And that was the home we moved into from Luxora. And it was just a living room and a kitchen and dining room. Oh, I remember the house not having a bathroom. And I remember when the bathroom was put in the house. And I remember the wash bench out on the back porch where Mom would roll the washer with the rollers and do her laundry out there, and then they would pour the water out the back door when they out from the back porch when I finished. And when I was quite young, I wanted to have earrings, and so I got in my mind that I could put I found a little pearl and I put it in my ear and was pretending that I was wearing earrings. And I can remember Mother having me out on that back porch on that wash bench trying to get that pearl out of my ear that had fallen down into my ear canal. And she tried and she put water in it trying to get it to, and she'd turn my head back over trying to get it to wash out. And finally Daddy had to take me to the doctor to get that little pearl out.
And
I quit wearing earrings after that.
Was it a big house you grew up in?
Well, it was 2 bedrooms downstairs, and then there was a big room upstairs. And it wasn't finished off, but we used it. It had sheetrock walls, but it was just one big room upstairs, and so we had beds up there. And I can remember when my sister died, at that time they brought bodies back to the home and people would sit up all night at home. And I can remember her body being there in the dining room, right at the foot of the steps. And that's one of the strong memories I have of that house, is at her death. And but it was, it was just an old farmhouse it was 2 stories.
Did you went to school around there?
Well, when we moved, I started to school there. I sure did. And I didn't like school. And I remember Mom sitting with me out on the front porch trying to talk me into that I really did like school and I really did want to go, but I sure did cry a lot to want to go to school. And my excuse was, well, if I didn't have to eat in that lunchroom, I'd be okay. But
was it a big
even
school?
when she fixed my lunch, I still wasn't happy.
Was it a big school?
It's the same school that I taught first grade in my first grade classroom for 18 years.
So you stayed at that school a long time? The one you didn't like?
Yeah.
Do you eat in the cafeteria?
Yeah. It's better now than it used to be.
Did you get along well with your brothers and sisters?
Well, I had a younger sister, and I picked on her just like most older brothers or sisters pick on their younger brother or sister, but we got along pretty good.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you ended up in the Harris clan?
Okay. Janice and I were good friends. We went to high school together, and then I graduated in '66, and I started to school at Walnut Ridge at Southern Baptist. And in '67, when Janice graduated, then she came to Southern Baptist, and we continued to run around together. And she had a brother named Jack, and he was home from Indiana, where he was doing an apprenticeship as a pipe fitter. And
handsome guy?
Yeah, he was all right. And Richard had a horse, and I decided to impress everybody and told them I could ride a horse because I had ridden a Shetland pony, but this was a great big horse. And so we went over there on a Saturday afternoon, and Jack saddled, what was his name, Charlie, saddled Charlie up, And I got on it, and when I did, well, Charlie was pretty frisky, and he reared up, and I screamed when he reared up, and it scared Charlie, and he took off running around the barn and on around the house. And when he ran around the house, well, the saddle, when he made a curve, the saddle slipped with the curve and rolled to one side, and I rolled with him, and I fell off the horse, and Jack ran and picked me up, and we just kind of started from there. It was my knight in shining armor, I guess. Anyway, we started dating shortly after that. We only dated 2 months and got married.
Really?
We had our first date in April, and we got married June 22nd.
You must have made quite an impression on him.
Yeah.
Because he was telling me earlier about all the girls he had gone out
You don't
with.
imagine what he told you.
Did you ever know about any of these girls he went out with before you?
Just what Janice told me about them. She used to fill me in a little bit about her older brother that would bring all these women home with him, and she'd have to sleep with the women, and how she just liked that.
Janice would sleep with the women.
Yeah. Of course, Grandma made the women sleep in a different bed, and so, of course, Janice had to sleep with them.
And do you know what kind of women these were?
Sure. Jack was dating them. They were nice, fine ladies.
Yeah, Richard told us a little bit about the women as well. Oh, how about, what are the biggest changes you see from when you were a kid to the kids today?
Well, respect is one thing I definitely see. Lack of respect. When I was growing up, I was taught to respect my elders and the people in authority, and working with children today, that same respect is not instilled in them. That we just automatically experienced as a young child. And so I think that's one of the changes I see. Children seem to be smarter now than they used to be. Our little granddaughter, she just amazes me how intelligent she is. And maybe we were smart too, but we just didn't show it like she does. But I was raised in a very loving family, and that love just extends, all through our family. We have a very extended family, and you don't see that too much. I was fortunate enough to marry into another family that had those same feelings for each other. But that's something you don't see a whole lot of, is where the family extension just continues the way it does in the Harris family and the Potek family.
Are there any words of wisdom you'd like to leave for our audience?
Not really. I don't have a whole lot of wisdom.
Okay, what were Christmases like when you were growing up?
Well, we always had really nice Christmases. Mother and Daddy always went all out for Christmas, and I remember as I was in the third grade, it was 1957, and I can remember that our Christmas was real skimpy that year. We didn't get very much. And then as I've grown older, I realized that was the year that was the crops were just horrible that year, and I'm sure there wasn't very much money. But at the time, I didn't realize why we didn't get very much that year for Christmas. But as I've gotten older, I've heard people talk about 57 and how bad it was. And put two and two together and figure out, well, that's why our Christmas was so skimpy that year.
Okay, are there any closing statements you'd like to say to your husband or anyone else?
Well, just to the Harris family, that I'm a very fortunate person to be a part of the family that I am a part of, because when I married, I didn't think beyond the person I was marrying, and I didn't really think too much, period. And I could just as easily have ended up in a family that didn't care anything about each other. But the good Lord just took care of me one more time, and I ended up in a family that loves each other, and they love their fellow man. They're good, honest people, and they've always loved me just like I was one of them, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, did all the brothers and sisters get along pretty well?
In the Harris family,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything but love. I mean, they might fuss and argue, and they tell each other what's on their mind, but they love each other. They're good to each other.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jane.
Cheers.
All right, we're here with Roger Kuntz, Uncle Roger. And we're going to start with your full name and date of birth.
Roger Lynn Kuntz, November the 17th, 1948.
Place of birth.
Couch, Missouri, on the farm, during bird season.
During bird season. You remember it was bird season?
That's when we were planning for them because the doctor would come out and hunt with my dad.
Uh-huh. That's a pretty good
So
point.
they were at home.
And tell us a little bit about your mother and father.
My dad, Herbert Kuntz. Mom's name's Hazel Kuntz. Both school teachers and farmers. My mother's still living. She's 78 or 80. My dad died 6 months before Grandpa Harris died.
Mm-hmm.
No, a year or more. Grandpa Harris died 6 months after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, what are we up to now?
Well, the next question is, I want you to tell us a little bit about the first house you remember living in, where it was and size and all that kind of stuff.
It was probably what you call a shotgun house
Yeah.
that had rooms added onto it. It was brown. Let's see. It had electricity but no running water. And then when I was 6 we built a new house and we got running water in that house.
Big house, little house?
Big house.
Have your own bedroom? Lots of brothers and sisters?
I had 2 sisters, older.
Mhm.
My oldest sister died when she was 16. My only living sister is 4 years older than I am. Her name is Ann Williams, and she lives at Alton. And she has 2 kids, Mike and Tammy.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, you get along well with your sisters when you were young?
Oh yes, we fought all the time.
Did you? Have any memorable or embarrassing moments from your childhood you'd like to share with the audience?
Can't think of anything right now, Scott.
All right.
I'm sure there was some.
Why don't you tell us about when you met Janice?
Well, let's see, Janice and I were going to a religious school called Southern Baptist College,
Mm-hmm.
and this girl had a date with this guy, and neither one of them had a car, and she wanted me to double date with her. So she said, I'll get you a date with anybody on campus. And I said, well, get me a date with that redhead over there with good-looking legs.
Really?
That's true.
And who was that?
Well, that's Janice.
Janice who?
Janice Harris.
Redhead with good-looking legs.
Caroline Harris.
All right. And where'd y'all go that night?
That I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, we just went somewhere.
How long did you date before you ended up getting married?
Let's see, that was a long time. About 7 years, I think.
7 years. And what were the first impressions of her family when you first met her?
Well, Aunt Bonnie did not like me.
She didn't.
No.
Why not?
No.
Just did like you in general?
Grandma Harris didn't like me either.
Neither one of us.
No. Well, we went to Grandma's house one night after Janice brought several friends home from college.
Mm-hmm.
And so Grandma Harris was fixing breakfast for everyone the next morning, and she was throwing eggs on the table. And of course then she grew to like me, so I think I was her favorite son-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Or in-law.
That's good. What do you think the biggest changes are for kids today compared to when you were a kid?
It's a lot faster paced life.
Mm-hmm.
More electronics. Because I remember barely remember having a wood stove to cook on and an electric stove at the same time. And then when we built the new house, we put the wood stove in the basement to heat the basement, and then later put just a regular wood heating stove in there. But I mean, coming from the time when people cooked on wood heat or
Mm-hmm.
wood stove to microwave and convection ovens, coming from 45 records to albums to 8-track to cassette to CDs.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember at Christmas? What do you remember about Christmases when you were little? Did you get lots of toys, one toy?
Always remember getting clothes, some toys, but not lots of toys. Not toys like kids get today, like 10
Mhm.
toys. You got maybe one toy.
And are there any words of wisdom you'd like to leave our audience with?
Just slow down, enjoy life.
All right. Thank you very much, Robert. She decided to come in and be interviewed for the last one on our tape. Could you tell us your name?
Ashley.
Ashley what?
Ashley Bow.
Ashley Bull. And do you know your mama and daddy's name?
Lisa.
Lisa and?
Larry.
Do you know your birthday, Ashley?
June.
June?
June 23rd.
June 23rd is your birthday? And how old are you?
4.
4. Do you go to school yet?
Yes.
Where?
At preschool.
You go to preschool?
Yes.
Are there lots of boys and girls in your school?
Yes.
Do you have any brothers and sisters?
No.
You don't?
I just get a brother
You got a brother
and a sister.
and a sister. What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex? Do you get along well with Alex? You don't? Why not?
Because he tears everything up that I make.
He tears everything up you make?
Yes.
Well, that's not very nice of him. What do you got there in your hand?
A light stick.
Did you say you have a sister too?
Yes.
What's her name?
Maggie.
Maggie? How old is she?
8.
She's 8. Do you get along with her good? Is she nice?
She makes everything and I make too.
She does. What do you do with your light stick there?
It glows in the dark.
Did you get lots of presents from Santa Claus this year?
Yes.
Were they good ones?
Yes.
What did you get?
Toys in a bag from a machine
Uh-huh.
and a new shirt
Uh-huh.
and a door.
And a door. Did you get a microphone?
No.
You didn't. You didn't get a microphone to sing songs?
No.
Well, that's not very good, huh? Your grandpa told me that you got a microphone and that you sing songs with him and do a preach for him.
Well, I did.
You didn't.
No.
You like going over to Grandpa's house?
No.
You don't? Did he get you anything for Christmas?
No.
He didn't? Are you sure? Do you have a doggy? Is his name Shadow? Can you sing us a song?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. Next year, first saw it, he didn't say it knows. All of the other reindeers used to flock off in names. He never let poor Rudolph join in their games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you come my foot tonight and have a reindeer something as you shall wear clean. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down the story.
That's very good. We're almost out of tape. Can you do me a favor?
Yes,
Can you say, that's the end of our taping.
that's the end of our tape.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Wait. Thank you, Ashley.
Gas, regular, $1.11.
$1.11 for gas, Kenny says. Lady walking her dog. There's some more Christmas bells. There's one of Abby's little friends.
Be honest. Go.
Get a new one like that. Shouldn't be out public. My dad used to have one of those. Those are antiques anyway. So anyhow, I found a place, got me two of them, got Peter two of them. These woven wool calves.
Little balls on top?
No bones on them. Bill. So I had my old one and had this fancy bag from Ireland to Dublin. So I put a newspaper in it and my old cat. And Peter and I went over to get our tanks.
Here we are at the Harris household.
Good in park. That's second.
Oh, that's you. That's you.
Who was that honking?
Yeah.
Hi, Tricky Mickey.
They're not very good at it. Well, hello? Buddy. Here, where's that pot at here? Some down there, Jim.
What pot?
Where's
What are you doing, Ab?
You're on candid camera.
Breakfast ready yet, Karen?
Almost.
Not ready yet?
I'm going, oh, get out of here. Go away.
What are you going to do?
Hurry, I want you to turn it off. I'm busy. Go away. Don't like those things. You won't eat if you don't leave me alone.
There'll be very few opportunities to get you with your natural hair color,
I'm gonna
Karen.
get, this is not my natural hair. Go away. Somebody get this boy out of the kitchen. Come get him. He is a turd. Kendra Richard. Get out of this kitchen or I'm not letting you eat. I'm eating.
I better leave now.
You better leave now. Don't like those things.
That'll stop me with crap.
That's right. Hate those things. Yeah, I'm gonna say one time. I expect that to be destroyed
make you buy it, Karen.
Yeah.
We have to take, aren't you going to give us the tour later though, Karen?
Which tour? Go away.
The tour of your house.
No. My dirty house? No, I don't think so.
I'm getting getting everything on film, you know, so 20 years from now when you guys are...
So your uncle taking a big old
Uptown?
grunt here in a little bit, filming?
Oh, sure.
Now, he, on the other hand, come
Yeah,
back.
it would show the good close facial reactions of the grunt.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right.
So you'll know, all right.
Mmm. Got some sausage over here, some biscuits. So let's see what they got in their bedroom.
Oh, where at?
Pretty clean. This would be Ab's room. There's Richard's device. Jack's got one too. Karen made her bed. Put a little bear on it. Oh, that's the family pictures.
All part of the kitchen, that's all. Bring that video in here on fire.
Washer and dryer. Richard's storage area. Ping pong. Oh, and there's a new computer. A new fancy Dell. Go back upstairs, see if we can get Karen again.
What? What?
Showing out.
What, Dad?
Well, there's Jack just making it.
Yes, just getting here. Good morning.
What's she have to say, Dave?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, she missed me, huh? Somebody else missed me too, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah.
Who's that, Bonnie?
Huh?
Who's that?
What's that?
Who's that?
Mickey, my favorite dog.
Well, tell everybody on the TV.
Oh. Yeah, my favorite dog. Come here.
Now, how long have you and Mickey been friends?
Oh, for the last 3 years we've been partners. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that latest.
Have I got time to take somebody?
You don't think so? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Get me up now.
Mickey, get her up. Bite her on the, turn around, bite her on the butt.
Look at it, real funny. Look at the tail. Zoom in on the tail. He knows where to take him. Oh, here's Harper and the cat.
It takes who for a walk?
Yeah,
Right now, Vicky's taking body.
right. Bet you're along.
Yes, he's dragging her up the hill.
Kim, what are you? My favorite. Like when he sticks his finger in that rock there, but
Real talk in a crowd,
you're
huh?
on fantastic camera.
Uh-huh.
Good morning.
Good morning, Norman.
It's Saturday.
All day.
I don't even know what the date is.
27.
27,
Mm-hmm.
19 and 99.
That's right. Let's see if Kenneth's watching.
This is Jennifer.
Jennifer? Jennifer who?
Oh, let's see. Lagerbaum. Jennifer Baum. Jennifer Baum.
You got that right? Technically, I'm in the living room. Just kidding, Richard. That's a nice view, Richard.
Thank you.
We've been together for...
But you and Norman need to get ready. Y'all ought to have a joint antique.
No, when we go do something.
I just heard a guy on CBS
Take
News
beer.
this morning, they throw
Want
a
a
dart
dart?
and they interview people across the United States. He's retired Air Force, and he's been studying some form of the Bible, deciphering it on the computer.
Carrie,
And he's
help
already
in there for you.
fading up for next year. Says that we will have a major depression, and that the world may be coming to the end with the new millennium.
Got all her coffee.
Oh, I wish people would stop worrying about it and just live. He's gonna sit there and worry about it, and then when it comes time for the world to end, he'll be depressed.
Yeah, we'll all have such full coverage, so. Well, you know,
We just need to have a big feast.
that's a, we'll have to
See,
give
what's
away
the-
the next
what
year.
sort of bugging me?
Poor people out there will really eat.
What's sort of bugging me right now is Bonnie's trying to hoard the Spam up. She wasn't going to tell me about her can of Spam from Millennium if I hadn't called it. More coffee in there.
Back in the 1800s,
What was the oil shift that broke
The
apart?
Millerites.
So much of it.
up in New England,
Well, that's...
New York, bring it
Anita.
Well, Aunt Bonnie,
Anita.
let's go through one at a time.
Here's Anita.
Yeah, we'll one at a time. Oh, right here.
Oh, yeah, Anita.
Your mother. That's first, ready. You can do it. Come on. My sister Brittany said it's
Anita.
spoon holders and stuff in the kitchen. Yeah, different things like that.
love that.
Thank you. My kitchen's blue.
You can put bacon grease in it too.
Pumpkin festival.
Oh, is that what you want that?
Right. Cool. That's a, I